From the moment I saw that Nexu at the beginning, I knew this was going to be a good one. And it was. Spoilers ahead for the Bad Batch Episode 2 and the Clone Wars, so let's dive in. Omega's reaction to leaving Kamino for the first time was endearing, wholesome, and great attention to detail. I also thought it was great how they used Echo as the point of view character for the audience, since he's a newer member to the group.
So this friend of yours, what's he doing all the way out here?
Hiding. That's what deserters do.
Staying off the radar's not our specialty. And you trust a deserter?
Why not? We're all deserters now.
I also love how they doubled down on the themes of creeping authoritarianism with the introduction of Imperial credits and chain codes. For an animated Star Wars show, it does a great job of raising the complex political issue of how modern-day's cashless payment systems and travel controls make it easier for governments to track their citizens' everyday actions. I also loved how the show slipped in its messages about the gentle side of parenting, and how not passing down your trauma to the next generation is a good thing.
What were you doing out there? Do you realize you could have been killed?
Easy. She's not a soldier.
Are you hurt? Now, let's take a look here.
I'm sorry. I was trying to get the ball. I didn't know.
It was some great character growth for Hunter right away, and I think he's been set up for a pretty amazing story arc through the first season. It was also great to see more variety in the clones' outlook. I've actually gone back to start watching the whole Clone Wars series in chronological order now rather than release order, and something that struck me from the first few episodes was when the clone Slick betrayed his army, and accused Captain Rex and the others of just being warrior slaves to the Republic. Of course, Rex was strongly opposed to that in the beginning then, but by the end of the 7th season, we see him realize how just following orders and being a good soldier can actually lead to atrocities. The Bad Batch is covering that same theme, but in a lot more detail now, and it's a perfect continuation of that long story. But despite all the fantastic things from this episode, I did have a few nitpicks, so bear with me and feel free to correct me in the comments if you disagree, or let me know if you noticed anything else. I'm genuinely curious and I love the show. I still like Omega, but I worry that by episode 2 she seems to get herself in trouble in silly ways, like Grogu, the Baby Yoda, but Omega's also too old and smart for that, so it comes across as a little jarring sometimes. I guess it could be chalked up to her being away from her home for the first time and not being used to real danger, so I'll give it a pass though. But it's something that I'm going to watch out for going forward. The other thing is that the Imperials impounded the Bad Batch ship, which is a former Imperial ship, but they never identified it or scanned it or did anything to realize who the Bad Batch were. It's possible they just didn't care to check or they weren't familiar with it, and that's totally fair, but it just dropped the intimidation and intelligence factor of the Empire for me a bit. Still great overall though. Also, one thing I didn't notice until after I released my episode 1 review is this fantastic detail, and I need to point it out. In the first episode of The Bad Batch, Tarkin meets with Lama Su on Kamino, in the same place where Obi-Wan was during an Attack of the Clones. The difference here is that this time Lama Su sits in the guest chair, while Tarkin takes the Prime Minister's chair from last time, showing the new power dynamic.
May I present Lama Su, Prime Minister of Kamino. And this is Master Jedi
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I trust you're going to enjoy your stay. Please. And now to business.
It's just one fantastic detail that shows how much care went into the show. So The Bad Batch is amazing as ever, and I've loved the first 2 episodes and I look forward to seeing more. And with that, I'll leave you with the best meme moment from episode 2.